So this is about how to be that weird kid that's like, oh my god, we get homework today? Yay! Like, you're gonna have to do the homework anyway, so why make yourself dislike it? And this is something I was thinking about because I used to not like learning multiple softwares because you have that period of time where you don't really understand, like, you know what you want to do, especially if you're transitioning from a previous software for video editing. This one was me learning Onshape because it's SolidWorks, but I mean there's also laser cutting softwares, Amazon software, eBay software, like there's just tons of interfaces you have to learn. And when you first start using them, you realize how much you don't know and you have so much difficulty finding the stuff. And I would like complain to myself in my head about this. And I was thinking about this. I'm like, why am I choosing to not be happy right now? Why am I choosing to dislike that? And it is a choice because I could be looking on the positive side of this. I could be reframing it. I mean, boredom. Most people think of boredom as bad. No, boredom is your mind relaxing. Think about that. Next time you're bored, be like, yay, my mind's relaxing. I am recharging my brain. I am not overstimulating it. I will not be burned out. As someone who can easily work themselves up into a burnout state through sheer willpower, every time I'm relaxing or bored, I'm like, yay, I am relaxing. And now I actually enjoy being bored because I see it as relaxing. I reframed it in my head so that I enjoyed it. The process of, I don't know, dealing with software bugs, you could look at that and be like, why the fuck is my computer working? Or you could reframe it as, oh, look at this fun puzzle. I'm going to try to solve this puzzle. You don't get mad when a puzzle piece doesn't fit. You just go on to the next way you want to try to solve the puzzle, which is healthier than breaking your mouse. So I adopted that reframe. But you can reframe this stuff. One of the things that helped me, if you've been following my channel, I was at college, basically studied way too much wrestling, and I also did wrestling team, and the wrestling was mostly my social time, and every other hour of the day was spent in a book. And wrestling ended, and I was like, oh shit, I feel trapped here. I don't like having to study 24/7 without socializing. And I got depressed, which is why I started doing ice baths and even started the channel in the first place. But one of the things that helped me was reframing the college. I saw college as a waste. I saw it as a stupid thing that I was stuck at that had no real world application because at that point I already had 2 years experience as an actual engineer through co-ops and taking a year off to work in the actual industry. Where I realized, oh my god, you teach yourself everything. My college doesn't even touch computer vision, and the stuff we're learning is so like basic, and everything nowadays is done with software, and it's really about like the hyper nuanced scenarios that would actually be what companies pay you to do. Like, you just, what you're learning in college is far too general. But I made a list, and on that list I put like things that I liked about college, things that college helped me with. I'm like, well, some of my teachers had such heavy Asian accents that I couldn't understand a word they said, which meant I had to teach myself everything from the textbook and online materials. I am really, really good at teaching myself stuff. And I use a system I talk about called the engineering system, which is you define what your problem is, and then you write down your questions, and then you answer that question. And you're like, I don't know what to do. Okay, what's your goal? Okay, now it's I don't know how to do this. Okay, and then you look up how to do that. And then you will have a question about how it says to do that. Because if you can frame something in the form of a question, you can Google that shit. You can chat GPT it, and then you can move on to the next thing. So it's a systematic approach to tackling stuff. But that's not what this video is about. reframing stuff so that you can see the positive in it. I reframed learning new softwares as increasing neuroplasticity through learning new ways of thinking and new ways of doing stuff, which is highly beneficial for the brain. Me now focusing on this and when I'm doing my activities, I'm like, oh, this is highly neuroplastic. This is highly neuroplastic. I don't allow the thoughts in my head of where the hell is this button that this previous software had and that I don't now see, and I've spent the past 10 minutes trying to look for it. Why the hell can't this be SolidWorks? I don't allow myself to think that, and I'm like, looking for this button is increasing neuroplasticity. Having to relearn something I've already mastered is increasing neuroplasticity. And yeah, it's crazy like that, but you just keep doing it. And then when you keep doing that, you actually start to think that way. I taught myself to but to not puke at the taste of eating raw liver by telling myself how healthy it was every time I ate it. And yes, it is actually extremely healthy for you, and you feel a giant difference, which is the only reason why I kept eating it, even though the first couple times I ate it, I literally would gag repeatedly into the sink. I have other videos on that. But through doing this, you can retrain your brain and make yourself like stuff. If people can convince themselves they like the taste of cigarettes, then you can pretty much convince yourself of anything. Because cigarettes taste like shit. Yeah, I smoked them for 2 years. I don't know why. I convinced myself that I liked the taste. And that I wasn't originally like it. I convinced myself that I liked the nicotine and that the taste wasn't that bad. And then at some point I convinced myself that I liked the taste. It's stupid. It's stupid. Just make sure you convince yourself of good things. But let's go over the three, some of the ones I'm doing. So it's a puzzle, not a problem. That helps a lot with IT issues so that you don't smash stuff. Increasing neuroplasticity when learning new things. Boredom is your brain relaxing, and you just kind of repeat these things to yourself as a mantra when the other thoughts start to introduce themselves. When you start to get frustrated, be like, it's a puzzle, not a problem. And then start thinking of it as a puzzle. This helps a lot. Just reframing things like this. Like, I'm gonna have to do the stuff anyways. Like, you have, if it's frustrating you to that degree and you're still doing it, it's because you have to do it. And if you have to do it, you might as well reframe it in a way that doesn't make you frustrated, because you can actually decide to be happy. That's one thing I've learned in the past couple of years, is you decide whether or not you want to be happy or not, because happiness comes from within. So if you want to be a miserable ball of being forced to do stuff that you hate, you can do that. Or you can be a happy person being forced to do stuff that you love. It's your choice.